driving home right now on my dirt road. I usually drive about 45, maybe 40 miles an hour on this road. I'm doing 13 miles an hour behind a Jeep. And he was going fast on the pavement. Tell me this, why would you buy a Jeep if you're gonna go 13 miles an hour on the first dirt road you hit? Spend your money on a BMW convertible or something. It's a Jeep, you can press the gas pedal on the dirt, it'll handle it. You don't need to do 10 miles an hour. Anyway, that's my rant. Why buy an SUV if you're not gonna use it for an SUV? Could have just bought something more fuel efficient. Seems dumb to me. Well guys, I finally got a day off to go down and work on the Dakota down at the warehouse. And of course the only day off I have, it's pouring down rain. But, oh well, we're gonna push through it because I gotta get this thing done. So let's head down to the warehouse and start working on the Dakota. Well guys, here we are in the warehouse. I'm sorry for the background noise and the lighting. I can't control either of them. We got the engine here served up on a silver platter. We are going to be attempting to plop it into here today. If you guys missed the last two parts of me pulling the engine out, go ahead and check those out. I pulled the engine out of this red one because it had a blown engine because there was a cooling breach. That engine is right there. And then I pulled this engine out of my blue Dodge Dakota, which is outside, because that had a junk frame. So we're gonna put this engine into here. This engine has 138,000 miles on it. It was still running good. This transmission, I have no idea whether it works or not, but we're gonna hope. Anyway, so let's see if we can line this damn thing up. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and chain up this engine now. All right, we are now going to transfer this bad boy over there. Into the belly of the beast she goes. I'm definitely not going to get this first try, but here we go. Alright, engine is lined up generally. Sorry for the couple interruptions, but this is a warehouse where people work and everybody's interested in this. Anyway, the engine is lined up with the transmission, but the motor mounts are not lined up quite yet. I gotta bang on the engine to try to get it. There's two little mounting points on the transmission. I gotta bang on it to try to get it to mount correctly. So let me do that real quick. Holy smokes, guys. After about 45 minutes of jiggling this engine all over the place, I haven't used the forklift and this little log to push it in a little more. I know, not the best method, but I couldn't do it by hand, and the crane is a little difficult to maneuver. But I'll tell you what, I think it's seated. Let me show you the real tough part about this. Under here. So I'm not sure you can see this, but between here and here, there's this little nub. And you gotta line that up with the hole perfectly. And there's the same nub on the other side. You gotta line that up right, and then you gotta line up the engine mounts right at the same time. Pretty tough job. I think we finally got her though. And you see the engine mount. So you gotta get this spindle. I can't see in there, but you gotta get that spindle into this bracket. Just so you guys see how much of a struggle that was. I was clean at the beginning of the day. After 45 minutes on this, whew, pretty dusty. And my back is even worse. The reason it's so dusty is because I'm crawling on the ground under here, and of course it's covered in dirt and it's etc. Not complaining, just showing you it was a dirty job. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and tighten all the bell housing bolts. At least I'm going to do the ones underneath off camera because it's impossible for me to record while I'm under the car. I'll show you the ones above ground though. Alright, well that's going to be it for today. I've had a pretty long day. Got the engine in, that took quite a while, especially and then doing the bell housing bolts took me quite a while. And I also did the wheel bearing on the Cobalt today. So, I'm pretty tired. It's going to be the end of this video probably. Thanks for watching. Next week we will hook everything up and hopefully fire it up. Thanks for watching. See you then. Welcome to part 2 of the $1,000 Chevrolet Cobalt. So the two issues this car had, or the main issues, were the blower fan wouldn't work and then the wheel bearing makes a really loud whining noise. I already fixed the blower fan. I literally got down underneath the glove box and the blower fan's right there. It's that little thing right there. I just whacked on it with my hand. I like kind of jiggled it, and look, it's loud. So obviously it might need replacing soon because that means there's a bunch of stuff in it. So I replaced the cabin air filter too. That was pretty dirty, but the fan is still loud. However, it does work and the AC blows cold. Second thing was the wheel bearing, so I bought that. It was $75 here at AutoZone. The guy was super nice, but he dropped it on the floor on his way over to me, which I was a little concerned about that, but hopefully it can withstand a drop, because if it can't, then I wouldn't want it on my car. So anyway, let's head down to, I'm gonna work in the warehouse since it's raining today, but we'll head down to the warehouse and get this installed. So you just listen to this wheel bearing whine. It's pretty loud. Alrighty, we're in the warehouse now. I apologize, the lighting in here is not super awesome. But there's really nothing I can do about that. Anyway, we're gonna just do the front wheel bearing on the driver's side, because that's the one that's loud. So let's get started. Well guys, I'm dumb as nails, and I brought a floor jack. I brought a bottle jack that doesn't fit underneath the car because the car's so low. So I'm just gonna jack it up with the forklift on the jack points. And be very careful not to bend the rocker panel. I got the brakes off and the wheel off. Some cars are so rusty that it's really hard to get the brakes off, but this car was a breeze. Anyway, let's get the wheel bearing out of here. Alright, well here's the old wheel bearing off. Time to put the new one in. Okay guys, so we're almost done with the job. Just gonna let the car down, and then once the car's down, then you tighten this axle nut to 155 foot-pounds, and we'll tighten up the lug nuts, put the hubcap back on, and once we do that, she'll be all set. All right, let's tighten this up to 155. we go. And I'll do each lug to 120. I think that's what cobalts are. I have no idea, but that's what I usually do it to. And there we have it. That is the wheel bearing replaced. Let's go ahead and drive it around and see how she feels. Here we go. And that noise is still here. And listen, so if I turn to the right, the noise stops. If I turn to the left, the noise stops. And if I turn to the right, ready, listen to this, it's gonna get louder. You hear that? So I'm turning to the left. Gets way quieter because the weight comes off the left wheel. And I turn to the right, gets louder because the weight goes on the left wheel. So that's why I thought it was a wheel bearing, because usually when that happens, it's the wheel bearing that makes this noise. Anyway, apparently it's not the wheel bearing, and it's something else. So I used a good high-end brand wheel bearing. Moog is a very respected and high-end brand, and generally it's the most expensive, or at least more expensive than Duralast or whatever. So I don't think it can be the wheel bearing again. It could maybe the axle boot. I don't know. You guys write your ideas in the comments below. But I'm not 100% sure what this noise is. So I thought it was the wheel bearing, and yet the noise is still there.